I need to tell you something tonight, and I need you to listen carefully, not with your ears, but with that part of you that has been carrying things you never told anyone about. You've been lying awake again, haven't you? The house is quiet, the lights are off. Maybe the clock on the nightstand reads something past midnight, and you're staring at the ceiling, turning the same worries over and over like stones in your hands, worn smooth from years of rubbing, but never lighter, never once lighter. You know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you? It's the kind of worry that doesn't announce itself. It doesn't knock. It just sits beside you in the dark like an old companion you never invited in, but can't seem to escort out. It whispers about your children, whether they're okay, whether they call enough, whether the choices they're making will lead them somewhere safe. It whispers about the years behind you, the ones that moved faster than you expected, the ones you'd live differently if you could. It whispers about money, about health, about that appointment you've been postponing, about the silence in rooms that used to be full of noise. And somewhere underneath all of that, quieter than everything else, there's a question you don't say out loud, a question that feels almost disloyal to even think. Is God still listening? I know that question, and I'm not here to give you a polished answer wrapped in a bow. I'm here because I believe that question itself, that honest, trembling midnight question, is the beginning of something you haven't seen yet. There's something written in the ancient texts that has been surviving centuries longer than any of us will. It says, "Do not fret, it leads only to evil." Now, when I first read those words, I almost laughed, not because they were funny, but because they seemed impossible. Don't fret, don't worry. That's like telling the wind to stop. You've spent decades learning how to worry. It became a skill, a duty even. You worried because you loved. You worried because you cared. You worried because someone had to hold the weight. And you decided long ago that it would be you. But here's what I've come to understand, and what I believe you're about to understand too. Carrying that weight was never the assignment. Not for one single day. Something else is written in those same ancient words, almost hidden between the lines, like a promise whispered to someone who would read it thousands of years later. Sitting in a dark room, wondering if anyone understood. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust in Him, and He will do this. Commit. Not mention. Not pray about it quickly, and then pick the worry back up. Commit, as in release your grip, as in open your hands. But we'll get there. Not yet. Because first, I need you to understand something about what worry really is. Not what your mind tells you it is. Not the story that says worry is love dressed in heavier clothes. What it actually is. And I think, if you're honest, the kind of honest you're only capable of being at this hour in this silence, you already sense the answer. Worry isn't love. Worry is the illusion of control. It's the part of you that believes if you think hard enough, long enough, deep enough about a problem, you can hold the world together with the sheer force of your concern. And tonight, something is shifting. You feel it, don't you? You didn't click on this video by accident. There's no such thing as that kind of accident. Not at this level, not when something is speaking directly to the ache you've been hiding. Something brought you here because something is about to change. And I don't mean change the way the world uses that word. Fast, flashy, performative. I mean the kind of change that starts in a place so deep inside you that you won't even have words for it at first. You'll just feel it, like a breath you didn't know you'd been holding, finally released. But I'm getting ahead of myself. There is more to say, and some of it you may not be ready for yet. Let me tell you about a tree, not a metaphor, not yet. A real tree. There's a white oak that grows in the Appalachian Mountains, in the eastern part of this country. and some of them have been standing for 300 years. 300. That means they were already growing before this nation existed. They survived the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, every storm, every drought, every winter that came howling down from the north like it wanted to erase everything in its path. And here's what's remarkable about that oak. During the hardest winters, the most brutal seasons, it doesn't fight. It doesn't cling to its leaves. It lets them go, every single one. It stands there, stripped bare, exposed to the wind and the ice, and it trusts, without words, without understanding, that something underneath the frozen ground is still working, still holding it, still feeding its roots even when the world above is white and silent and cold. Now, I want you to sit with that image for a moment, because I think you already know where I'm going with this, and I think it makes you uncomfortable, because you've been the oak that refuses to let go. You've been holding on to every single leaf, your children's futures, your financial security, your health concerns, your regrets, the things you said that you can't unsay, the things others said to you that you can't unhear. Every single leaf, gripped so tightly your branches are aching, and you tell yourself it's responsibility. You tell yourself it's love. You tell yourself that if you let go of even one of those leaves, everything will fall apart. But that tree, that ancient surviving magnificent tree, it knows something you've forgotten. It knows that holding on through the winter doesn't keep it alive. Letting go does. There's a line in those ancient words we started talking about, the ones that have been surviving longer than even that oak. And it says, "Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for Him." Be still, not be active, not be anxious, not lie awake at midnight running every scenario through your mind until your chest feels tight and your breathing gets shallow. Be still. Wait patiently, as if the waiting itself is the work, as if stillness is not emptiness but fullness, a different kind of fullness than you've ever been taught to recognize. Because here's what no one ever told you, and it's the thing I most want you to hear tonight. Patience is not passivity. Stillness is not surrender in the way you've been afraid of. The tree that drops its leaves isn't giving up. It's giving into a wisdom that's older than its own bark. It's trusting a rhythm it cannot see but can feel, deep in the wood of its being, in the hidden place where the roots drink from water that never freezes. You've been drinking from frozen water, haven't you? Trying to nourish yourself with worry, telling yourself that if you just think about it long enough, hard enough, the answer will come. But the answer doesn't live in your worry. It never did. It lives in the same place the tree's strength lives, underground, in the dark, in the quiet, in the space between your prayers where you stop talking and finally start listening. I know that's hard. I know it's hard, because listening means trusting, and trusting means releasing your grip, and releasing your grip feels like falling. But what if it's not falling? What if it's the first real standing you've ever done? The meek will inherit the land and enjoy peace and prosperity. That's another line from those same ancient words. Meek, not weak, meek. There's a difference the world has forgotten. The meek are the ones who have learned that force isn't strength, that gripping isn't holding, that worry isn't love. They're the ones who stand bare in winter and know, without proof, without evidence, without anything but the quiet pulse of something ancient beating beneath the soil, that spring is already on its way. But here's what I haven't told you yet. There's a reason you've been afraid to let go, and it's not what you think. It's not about control. It goes deeper than that, all the way down to something that happened a long time ago, something you may not have connected to this at all. And when I tell you what it is, something inside you is going to shift. Not because it's new information, because it's old truth you buried under years of trying to be strong. I want you to go back. Not far, just far enough. And think about the first time you ever truly worried about something. Not childhood worry, not the small anxieties of being young and invincible. I mean, the first time something mattered so much that you felt it in your body, in your chest, in your hands, in the way your breath shortened and your mind raced. Maybe it was when you became a parent. Maybe it was when you lost someone. Maybe it was a phone call that split your life into before and after, and you realized, standing there in the kitchen with the receiver still warm against your ear, that the world you'd built was more fragile than you'd ever allowed yourself to believe. That was the moment worry stopped being an emotion and became a companion. And from that day forward, you carried it the way people carry a stone in their pocket. Not because it's comfortable, but because letting go of it would mean admitting you can't control what's coming. And admitting you can't control what's coming feels like standing at the edge of a cliff with your eyes closed. But here's what I promise to tell you. The thing underneath all of this, the root that you haven't been able to see because it's been buried under so many years of grip and grit and silent endurance. The real reason you hold on isn't because you're afraid of the future. It's because you're afraid of what it means about the past, about all the nights you spent worrying instead of resting, all the moments you were physically present but mentally somewhere else, rehearsing catastrophes that never came, all the conversations you have heard because your mind was already 3 steps ahead, solving problems that didn't exist yet. You're not just holding on to worry. You're holding on to the belief that if you let it go now, you'll have to face what it cost you. And that quiet, devastating accounting is something you've been avoiding for a very long time. The Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. Do you hear what those words are actually saying? Not promising, saying. He makes me lie down, not suggests, not invites, makes. As if there's a tenderness in that insistence, as if the one who spoke those words looked at someone just like you, someone who had been standing too long, carrying too much, refusing to rest because rest felt like surrender, and said, "No, not anymore. You're lying down. You're drinking from quiet water. Your soul is being refreshed, and you don't get to argue with me about it." That's not a gentle suggestion from a distant God. That's a hand on your shoulder from someone who loves you too much to watch you keep doing this to yourself. And those quiet waters, they're not a reward for getting it right. They're not waiting for you on the other side of perfect faith. After you've finally stopped worrying, they're here, right now, in this moment, in the very act of listening to these words. Something in you is already being led beside them. You're already being refreshed, even if you can't feel it yet. Even if your mind is still scanning for the catch, still waiting for the moment when comfort gets pulled away and the old worry rushes back in. But here's what's coming, and I need you to stay with me for this, because the next thing I say will change how you hear everything that follows. There's a kind of letting go that doesn't feel like loss. There is a kind of trust that doesn't require you to understand. And it's already beginning in you. Not because you're trying, not because you're strong enough, but because some things are simply stronger than your grip. And when you finally stop clenching, when you finally open those tired hands, you're going to discover something that's been sitting in your palms this entire time, waiting to be seen. But I'm not going to tell you what it is. Not yet. Because you need to sit with not knowing for a little while longer. You need to let that question breathe. The way those quiet waters breathe. The way the green pastures breathe. The way the ancient words breathe when you stop reading them with your mind and start hearing them with your life. There's something you've been holding in your hands this whole time. That thing I told you was waiting to be seen. And I think you're starting to sense it now. The way you sense a change in weather before it arrives. Not with your eyes. With something deeper, something older than thought. Here it is. The worry was never the problem. Let me say that again because I need it to reach the place where you've been storing your guilt. The quiet, heavy belief that your worry is a failure, a weakness, a sign that your faith isn't strong enough, that if you were a better believer, a stronger soul, a more devoted heart, you wouldn't feel this weight at all. You've been carrying that guilt on top of the worry, haven't you? A double burden, the ache and the shame of having the ache. But the worry was never the problem. The worry was a sign, a signal. It was your soul doing what souls do when they love deeply and live in a world that doesn't always reward love with safety. Your worry was proof that you cared about your children, about your life, about the people God placed in your path. It was never a failure of faith. It was evidence of a heart that was paying attention. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Notice what those words don't say. They don't say, I will never enter the dark valley. They don't say, the dark valley doesn't exist. They say, even though I walk through it, the valley is real, the darkness is real. The psalmist doesn't pretend otherwise, doesn't paste a smile over the fear, doesn't perform a faith that feels nothing. He walks through, he feels the shadows on his skin, he hears the echoes in the stone walls around him. But something has changed in the walking. He's no longer alone in the valley, and he knows it. Not because the valley got brighter, because someone is walking beside him. The rod and the staff, tools of a shepherd, not a philosopher. A shepherd doesn't explain the valley to the sheep. A shepherd walks through it with them. That's the comfort, not answers. Presence. You've been looking for answers, haven't you? You've been lying in the dark, asking God to explain why this happened, why that door closed, why your prayers seem to hit the ceiling and stay there. But what if God isn't sending explanations? What if He's sending something better? What if the answer to your prayer was never a change in circumstances, but a change in the walking? A presence beside you that turns the valley from a place of abandonment into a place of accompaniment. Think about the people you've loved and lost. The ones who left this world before you were ready, and you were never ready. If you could sit with them right now, just for 5 minutes, what would they tell you? Would they say, keep worrying? Would they say, hold on to the weight? Keep your fists clenched, don't let go? Or would they look at you with that knowing tenderness that only comes from the other side and say, put it down. It was never yours to carry. It never was. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. A table in the presence of enemies. Not after the enemies are defeated. Not after the worry is gone. Not after the fear has evaporated. Not after the bank account is secure, and the doctor's report is clean, and the children are all safe. In the presence, while the threats are still there, while the fear is still real. God sets a table and says, sit, eat, be with me, right here, right in the middle of it all. The cup doesn't overflow because the problems disappeared. It overflows because the presence filled what the worry couldn't hold. That's the thing sitting in your open hands. The thing you've been afraid to look at. It's not emptiness. It's not the absence of your old strength. It's the beginning of a different kind of strength entirely. A strength that doesn't need to grip. A strength that knows how to sit at a table in the dark and trust that the one who prepared it is already seated. But there's one more thing. Something about what happens after the table, after the valley, after the cup overflows. Something that changes everything about where you go from here. And it's not what you expect. It's not even close. There's one more thing about that table. The one set in the presence of enemies. The one where God Himself pulls out a chair and says, "Sit." You've been wondering what happens after the meal. You've been wondering if the worry comes back when you stand up, if the valley returns when the light fades, if the quiet waters dry up the moment you look away. If you're here with me right now, if you've listened this far, if you're still sitting in this space we've built together word by word, then you are exactly the kind of person I hoped would find this video. Because it takes something to stay. It takes something to sit with uncomfortable truth instead of scrolling past it. It takes a heart that's still willing to be moved, still willing to hope, still willing to believe that God isn't finished with your story yet. And that willingness, that stubborn, beautiful willingness to keep showing up, is rarer than you think. So I want to invite you right now to subscribe to this channel, not because I need a number, but because if these words found you tonight, there will be more nights, more moments when the ceiling is too close and the silence is too loud, and you need someone to remind you that you're not walking alone. Subscribe so that tomorrow night, and the night after, and the one after that, this voice is here when you need it. That's all it is. A hand extended in the dark. You know, there's something that only happens when you've lived enough years. You start to recognize that the things you resisted most, the losses, the closed doors, the seasons that felt like punishment, were actually the things that carved you into someone who could hold this kind of peace. The youngs don't know that yet. They think peace is the absence of trouble. But you've been through enough trouble to know that real peace is the presence that walks through it with you. And that kind of peace doesn't come cheap. It costs years. It costs tears. It costs nights like the one you're having right now. But it arrives. It always arrives. And it's arriving. Right now. In this moment. You can feel it. Something loosening in your chest. Something releasing in your hands that have been clenched for so long. You forgot what open palms felt like. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life. Not chase you, not hunt you down. Follow you, patiently, faithfully, like a shepherd who knows the sheep will eventually stop running, eventually stop straying, eventually turn around and see that the goodness was never gone. It was just behind you the whole time, waiting for you to look. But there's one final revelation coming. The thing everything has been building toward. The image, the word, the single moment of understanding that ties every thread together. And it's not what you expect. It's something so simple, so quiet, so devastatingly beautiful that when you hear it, you'll wonder how you missed it all these years. But you didn't miss it. You were just being prepared to finally receive it. Here it is. The thing everything has been building toward. The thing you've been carrying in your open hands without knowing what it was. It's not an answer. It's not a formula. It's not a 5-step plan to stop worrying. It's something so simple that your mind will try to reject it. Because your mind has spent years believing that peace has to be complicated. That it has to be earned through enough effort, enough prayer, enough sleepless nights of spiritual labor. But what's sitting in your hands, right now, in this moment, is this. You were never alone in the dark. Not once. Not the night you couldn't sleep after the phone call. Not the morning you woke up and realized the world had changed and you weren't ready. Not the afternoon you sat in the car in the driveway, engine off, staring at the garage door, trying to find the strength to walk inside and be fine for everyone who needed you to be fine. Not once, not ever. The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right paths for His name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for You are with me. Your rod and Your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely Your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Do you hear it now? All of it, every line, every image, every word. It was never a poem about some distant future. It was a description of what is happening right now. The green pastures are this moment. The quiet waters are the breath you just took. The table is set. The cup is overflowing. The goodness and love aren't coming someday. They're following you right now. They've been following you your entire life, and you were so busy worrying about tomorrow that you couldn't see what was already beneath your feet. The oak tree doesn't survive 300 years by holding on. It survives by letting go, season after season, leaf after leaf, and trusting that the roots go deep enough. Your roots go deep enough. They always did. You just couldn't feel them because your hands were full of things you were never meant to carry. So tonight, right now, in this moment, open your hands. Not metaphorically, actually open them. Feel the air on your palms. That emptiness you're afraid of, that's not emptiness. That's space. Space for what was always trying to reach you but couldn't get past your grip. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust in Him, and He will do this. He will do this, not you. The same voice that said, "Be still," is the same voice that said, "Let go," is the same voice that has been whispering your name in every dark valley you've ever walked through, saying the same thing it has always said. Since before you were born, since before the oak was a seed, since before the waters knew how to be quiet, you were never carrying this alone. You were never meant to. The worry will come back. The old companion will knock. But tonight, you know something it doesn't know yet. That the door doesn't have to open. That the shepherd is already inside. That the table is set. That the cup is full. That the goodness has been following you all along. Patient and relentless, waiting for exactly this moment. The moment you finally turned around and saw it, and now you see it. If these words found you tonight, subscribe to this channel, not for me, but for the version of you who will need them again tomorrow night, and share this video with 5 people you love. 5 people who are lying in their own dark rooms, carrying their own stones, whispering their own midnight questions. Send it to them. Let them know they're not alone either, and leave a comment, not about what you think, but about what you felt. What shifted, what loosened, what you're ready to set down. Tell me and tell each other, then tell me what you need to hear next. What prayer, what worry, what weight needs to become light, because this isn't the end. This is the first breath. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life. Good night. You can rest now.